ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the director commentaries of the classroom. It has been a long time coming, and by a long time, I mean a year. It has been exactly 1 year since the pilot released, and what better way to celebrate it than for me as the creator, director, lead actor, editor, just all that stuff, for me to give you the scoop, the deep dive into my creation and just all the little tidbits and just all the small stuff that you wouldn't know without the lens of the creator who clearly had such retrospective look into this. So, I thought it would be amazing to just celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the classroom by just giving you guys just this deep tour into my psyche and the show's psyche and how it works and the inner cogs and mechanisms and how it just runs. And I think that's brilliant. I think this is just the perfect way to do that. So I'm just gonna preface this entire commentary and all the series is that they will release at the end of every month, the intended release date of every episode. Um and I will preface by saying that this will have minimal cuts whatsoever. As sticking true to the tradition of directors' commentaries, I will try my best not to cut or not to mess up, because usually that's not what they do in directors' commentaries. I mean, at least I don't think there are any cuts, but I will be pausing a bunch on the episode. So if this is not your cup of tea, me just yapping away, then you just should just leave the establishment, leave the premises right now, because I'm going to be pausing and yakking and just filling you in on every single tiny, minute detail about the show, particularly the pilot today. So, yeah, I have notes that I'm going to be corroborating with, just to rehash my brain. I just spent a bunch of time typing it down, and yeah, I just hope I can give you guys what you desire. Let us start off with the first episode of The Classroom, released on September 30th, and it has, as of today, 931 views, which is just the most viewed Classroom episode, which is understandably so. Yeah, let's just get straight to it. Before that we even start on the intro, that 1 second I give, it's an Adrian Lizarga, it's an iconic Adrian Lizarga hallmark in which I give the audience an exact second of nothingness before we commence, before just to completely blind obscure the viewer from what they're about to watch entirely, and then they just jump right in. I think that's just a impactful stylistic choice of mine. And yeah. Okay. The first four notes of the theme song that I composed. Guys, like I said, if we launch from nothingness into something, then it's gotta captivate you. It's gotta start off strong. So I kid you not when I said there was a bunch of trial and error on GarageBand. As you can see, this is a pretty meaty GarageBand project, and I was just experimenting with the beep boop blips of the frickin'. I was just experimenting with what sounded best, and I just ended up with something. Wait, oh, did I just mess up my? I haven't played this in a while. That does sound familiar? It is. Yeah, that those notes I believe to be very iconic, to be honest, to be fair, to be just completely earnest with you, the audience. I spent hours seeking the perfect four notes, because you just need to captivate your audience just like that. Yeah, you see? The second four notes, it works as a sort of counterpart. It gives off the same vibe, but yet it had to mesh well, because it's kind of like it's the yin and yang. They kind of, it's different, but it's the same thing. But it's just an intro. I can't explain music theory to you, but that was going through my mind. And as you can see on the top left corner, TV 14. Um, I thought that was a stylistic choice. You know how the TV shows you watch on the air is just they have the ratings before they start. I felt like I had to give it that vibe that, you know, you're watching this on air. This is something that has been publicized and has ran on the air on several networks, and it's rated TV 14 for language. But yeah, dude, it's I wanted to give it that sort of realism to it. I wanted to imbue that into this. Okay. Okay. Those three shots that we just watched, you know, this one, that one, and that one, we did those shots during morning announcements, which, you know, we spent a lot of, we, like, 99% of morning announcements, we were just prepping for, like, shoots. Like, we were not, like, listening in. I'm sorry, Kenya Ho, but we were making cinema, dog. That, woof. 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 Do you hear that? 3 instruments kick in at once. 3. So in the beginning, you just start off with like a normal classic piano, but then if we go to the freaking tracks and all that, we see that the 3, we have like so not only did we have like the hi-hats and the 808s going on in the we also just threw in another piano, and I'm gonna be so frank, it sounds so much better. It's like, do you hear how that sounds? You've also got to realize that it's like the beginning sounds so composed, but then once the beat drops, like just 3 more instruments are added to the mix. It brings this sense of cacophony, and that's exactly what I wanted. Like, it sounds so like pleasant to hear at first, but then bam, it's just tumultuous, and that's exactly what the classroom is. It gives it that in it. It's also really amateur, and like it doesn't sound very like. Fun fact: I didn't use a metronome to compose that song at all. I wanted no metronome. I just wanted a cluster of every like almost every instrument I could cram in that made sense in its dysfunctionality, if that makes any sense. And we can see here that, you know, we're starring Adrian Lazarga, which, you know, that font is actually called SF. Well, SF stands for San Francisco UI display, which I do believe is used in like Instagram or something like that. I don't know, but I picked the font. It looked very, you know, selective font is key for the theming and the vibe that you want to go for. And starring Adrian Lazarga, you know, I play myself. I play a slightly tweaked version, you know, slightly more desperate, slightly more, you know, of a whippersnapper. And we'll come to see that in the future episodes. This credit scene that you see here is actually a version 2. You know, in version 1, it was a bit too ambiguous. It consisted of me, you know, I was pointing at people, you know, very much like Steve Carell in the Office's, you know, credits intro thingy. And, you know, I couldn't, you know, with The Office, it had littered my mind because, you know, that's obviously the direct inspiration of this sitcom. But, you know, I had to ground myself, and I had to, like, lasso whatever hazy glimpse I had of The Office and just run with it. Like, I had to utilize it to make my own. And I'm here to ruin the movie magic for you. You can see, although clearly, you know, just filming me there, and you can see that nobody's at the table. I'm giving a thumbs up to nobody. This is just, I mean, you could probably notice it if you're nitpicky, but like these are just little inconsistencies that, you know, we couldn't bother to just make right, I guess. Okay, you know what? Okay. You know, Jaden Mole plays Olivia, and she's just an energy drink laden individual who has very few winks of sleep. Like, and it's narrowly based. It's not narrowly, but it's quite based on her. I would like to think so. I think she, yeah, and in if you're obviously seeing it right now, but the freaking her body is covering the text that would presumably be on the wall, and that's just masking, masking editing skills. Masking is very critical in the production of the classroom. It makes for all the cool stuff you'll see later on. So Jaden Mole wrote the first 2 episodes, and she basically established like the mannerisms and characteristics of the, shall we say, top build characters, even though there were no builds involved. And I kind of ran with that. What she implemented in these first 2 episodes, I took and I made them grow and they blossomed, and that's the totality of the classroom. But we're getting too ahead of ourselves here. We're just focusing on the pilot here. And as you can see that she's building a castle out of her energy drinks, dude. And once again, the ideas on how to inaugurate the characters in the intro was just off the dome, which allowed us to film the intro in just one period, I do believe. And so I think, and she suggested the building the castle. It was very in character for her, I do believe, and it's one of the more iconic, pieces of the intro, I do believe. But then Ramiro jumps in, springs in, full action, and that was my idea. Him destroying the castle. And I'm just wowed by how he was so willing to stunt like this so early on. It was great for him to be so participant in something. So I think if he found it fun, he was totally willing to do it for I think this is very fun, to be honest, but he was so willing to do it if it was fun. And you can see that his body actually also messes around with her credit, and it makes it vanish at one point, and that's just the power of masking, editing skills all over again. And if you couldn't tell by now, that the intro rhythmically, goes along with what's going on screen. So when Ramiro actually just bumps into the can, the song just it's on beat, and I've always been musically inclined to make it on beat. I think flow is really nice, especially with music. And believe it or not, there's actually a behind the scenes shot of this scene that I used for promotional material on my Instagram story, because I was trying to get the masses riled up, to promulgate my series, my debut on Real Nights Network channel, which is bam. That was great. I think it's very in character for Ramiro, a guy who thinks he's the and really doesn't give a fart about other people's creations. I think it can go hand to hand with what the story is trying to ingrain in its message. And of course, it wasn't this isn't intentionally meant to be an allegory. Him destroying the cans, destroying the castle, destroying the creation. It wasn't supposed to be something really symbolic for the latter half of the series, but I like to view it that way. I unintentionally made it symbolize something, I guess, if you could say that. And as you could hear, another instrument makes its way in, which is I believe a guitar of sorts, but not maybe it's a good electric. I don't know my guitars, but it just sounded nice for the vibe that was going for the intro. Yeah. But here's the nugget that you should take here. In the background, Mr. Cummings is brushing his teeth. He finds a toothbrush out of nowhere and just starts brushing them things. So that was not prompted. I never asked him to do that. But here's the tale. I could not stop yakking to Mr. Cummings about Beau is Afraid. I love the film to death. Love it. If Beau is Afraid has no fans, I am dead. Whew. Within that film, Ari Aster, the director, he introduced to me the concept of chicken fat, which he learned through Harvey Kurtzman. Chicken fat, to a rudimentary level, it basically means plethoric visual gags, just to instill the frame with just details that you may not focus at first, but if you look around, you will just latch on to something that isn't primarily the focus of the shot, but it's there and it's detail and it's saturated with it. So brushing his teeth was a masterstroke, and I thought it was hilarious, but the intro didn't musically allow for the frame to linger for longer, so that's unfortunate. But you do see it for a split second, and I think that is just funny as all hell, and it's definitely in character for the bumbling version of Mr. Cummings, because we definitely dumbed down the version of Mr. Cummings for this show specifically, because regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. So this is my first regret of the show. Antonio Tony Spinella portrays Ballady, which, to be necessarily blunt, is a narrowly tweaked version of himself. The "your mom" was a nice touch, but the way he just meanders out of the room is just not his demeanor. He's supposed to look demented, twisted, perverted as he plasters such a taunt right in your face. You can also see the red light of the Panasonic HCX1 as it films. I'm not sure if you can turn it off, but we should have turned it off because that is definitely in the way. But it just looks so sheepish for some reason. I don't know why Tony would look like that, but dog, you're supposed to look insane. See, look, the way that credit just glides up letter by letter is just so graceful. Like, that edit, I'm not even kidding you, took me longer than the title card. And, you know, that may surprise a bunch of people, but that is a quite tedious way to do a credit. Mr. Cummings looks up, and I did give him, like, stage directions. I told him to take note of a student's tomfoolery, but the ironic part of that is that he doesn't spring into action. He just looks up and just goes about writing whatever he's writing with his Pilot G2. Oh my god, like this, it seems like it was just yesterday that I asked them, all of them, to sit down for the ensemble shot, and look at them just not focusing, which I guess it suits for a credit scene, but you know, it's just really ironic because these students, it life imitates art, but it also the art imitates the art, because we're supposed to portray this class was kind of incompetent, kind of vapid, but you know, yeah, it was very life imitates art in a sense. And Rhea Kumar is missing from this shot because she was absent that day, but it allowed for me to take a gag. It allowed for me to metastasize it further than I would have ever imagined, and it infused itself into the storyline, and it was just, I don't know, Rhea was just really integral, and I thank Rhea for being absent that day. Otherwise we would not have the truant mastermind that we have in future episodes. See, look, I have to appreciate my main man's keenness in this ensemble shot, because bro made it seem like he was being very productive, when in reality he was just slapping his keyboard. It was I can respect it. He's typing a whole lot of nothing though. That much is true. So I felt obligated to, well, not obligated, but like I felt it necessary to credit every single student in that class, because we didn't know who was going to become important and who was. It was up in the air because we had no concrete storyline. We had no concrete utilization for the students. In a general standpoint, every student was a primary character, but just we didn't know how we were just gonna write. We didn't know who was gonna be important in one scene, who was gonna be important in another scene, who was gonna be important in another episode. So we just had to credit everyone just to be safe. And the only people I didn't credit was the TAs, which I didn't realize later on is still just essentially a student of the class. You know, TAs for Mr. Cummings is essentially just being a student for Mr. Cummings, only that student work isn't mandatory and you're obligated to listen to Mr. Cummings, like in the sense that if he asks you to help with the production, you will help with the production. Yeah, I was an incredible TA, by the way. Just a footnote that has no relation to this commentary whatsoever. All those credit is in Comic Sans, and the reason for that being is because all the other credits show up. You've seen that all the other credits are the boom, 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 boom. They all show up on the beat, but Aldo has no beat. I ran out of beats, so I just prematurely gave him a fart of a credit, on no beat. The drums coming in as the intro card plays is just so critical. Because I knew that the intro that I fabricated would end up like, I didn't know how to make intros for the life of me, but I knew it would have to crescendo and just at the end just culminate into this nice, like, harmonious, ending to it. And the drums, because by then almost every single instrument is gone by then, so it's just the grand piano and the drums really helped, like, finally sweep things up and just like make it sound really nice at the end. And this title card is the only thing that was concrete. I just knew I had to plaster the title onto the wall. Like, that was just a given. Like, I specifically set up this shot knowing that eventually when the door closed, the classroom would show up, and it was just dead set. And this has gotten me so much kudos. Like, just this title card. Not my struggling ability to compose a theme song. Not for the fact that I've made a series this large of just unfathomable proportions. The flipping title card is what got me my kudos.
Okay, class, today's the last day we have to work on our...
I don't know why Mr. Cummings' haircut looks so whack. Well, it's not a haircut. I just don't know why his hair looks like that. But I've always noticed it. I don't know why this is the opening shot of my series, but it just does. We look weird. No offense, Mr. Cummings, but I look weird. But look. Okay, also, by the way, the calendar says August 2023, even though we did film through the entirety of September. That was the
on our project, so please make good use of your time.
See, look, I don't know why my head is built like that. I really don't know why. I cannot explain. I'm the director, the creator. I couldn't tell you why my head looks like that, or why my hair looks, or why I look like that, period. And I do believe this is like take 2. Like, I couldn't nail the face, and I don't know why I just used this take that I just look so abysmal in. Oh god. And then Cody smirking in the background, and it's just this is just the cursed first shot of my sitcom. And by the way, we did shoot chronologically because we were getting the hang of how to shoot a sitcom, or just how to shoot this show in general. And it was, it's never been done before, and we're really an amateur independent crew, so we were just winging it, honestly. And no, I love how the audio bleeds from the interview into the preceding shot. It was just, that's grand. I don't think I did that anymore after the pilot. I don't know. I think this was just the pilot. I don't know why I didn't continue that, because bleeding makes just the transitions less jarring. I just don't know why. It's just, yeah. No, the project can't be due today, bro. No, bro, I can't be due today, bro. Or when is it due again? You over there. I look so young. It just looks so young.
You. Ask Mr. Cummings for an extra day.
I look at your younger dude.
I gotta cook.
What am I gonna do?
We ball nonetheless, bro. We press on, push forward.
Lee, that entire spiel was completely improvised off of one line. I have here, ladies and gentlemen, the pilot's script signed by me. It is a pleasure to have this in my hands. It is yeah. And with this script is going to illumine a lot of the improv fashion that we had within filming the classroom, because Man, did we improv a buttload. So, like I said, this spiel was improvised by just one line. And my line was, today is the last day. I haven't even started it yet. And that entire spiel was born. Because, look, I forget who was in the studio room that day when they watched me execute the interview. In the earlier episodes, we would stuff a majority of the classroom into the studio room during filming interviews for whatever reason. Like, I don't really know. But it did cultivate a bunch of amazing bloopers. And but there was no real logistical benefit to it, almost. I think I told Zachary Scott, who I chipped in with. I was like, yo, maybe I could metastasize the glorious first cutaway interview by making it cinematically dramatic. Just presenting myself as this melodramatic loser, I guess. I don't know. The 5 stages of grief. Like I suggested to him. I was like, I'm going to go through grief, denial, acceptance, bargaining, anger, just whatever the stages are. And I think he gave me a shrug. I'm not going to lie. I forget. But history was made. Because this shot was like 2 minutes unabridged, uncut, and then I just found my way. Just like I was just thinking, like, I would do grief and then I would pause. I would think, what is denial? Like, what could I say that's denial-ish? And then we went on to bargaining, and then I would just think for a bit, and then I would just like, it would just be 1 or maybe 2 takes, but the camera was just running as I was doing this. So yeah, this is really the first interview. I think it's pretty iconic, and it's my interview. I can't really be like glazing my own interview, but I will because I'm the creator of this darn show. Yeah, iconic, especially with the "we ball nonetheless" line. That line has stuck with me. I like very recently I've been quoting that on the daily. It just fits into my life a lot more than you might realize. And then the press on, push forward part, that is a Beau is Afraid reference. I'm not gonna lie. All these allusions tend to bleed into the writing of the classroom. I just really love that line. That line really stuck with me from Beau is Afraid. I think it's press on, push forward is just a philosophy, a mentality that just perfect. I think it portrays me. I think it shows some sort of hope. Because clearly I was lollygagging on getting this assignment done. The project can't be due today, bro, but I have hope. I am a determined son of a gun. The interview window in the office is iconic, but we didn't have a room like that presented the working environment, because it's so many rooms, and just the layout of L4 is just really out there. So there wasn't no concrete room that could get a view of working. So what we did was just use the foregrounds of the classroom, this brick wall, and then there was a wood wall on the adjacent side. But, I thought the brick wall worked great. And the interview chair, I just picked the most lush looking chair, and then we made it ours. And yeah, interviews, man. There was a lot. There's a science that went into these interviews. And yeah, I could go talk about it for 20 minutes, but I feel like this pilot commentary is going to be like an hour long, and this is the shortest episode of the series, so that can only be a premonition of what's to come for when I talk about, let's say, the finale. Oh god, that's going to hurt my throat. So like I said, this interview depicts me as a lollygagger, a loser who's disorderly and irresponsible and just lacking overall discipline. It's completely different from the guy that you'll come to see, like, quite literally in the next episodes, because this episode is aberrant. Because why am I lollygagging this episode? But the rest of the episodes, I'm just promoting TV media. I'm like, oh my god, TV media is life, and oh my god, I'm gonna cook so hard. That's important. We demonstrate that later on. That is explained. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I love to get ahead of myself. I love to yap about myself. If you couldn't realize, I'm speaking at like 12 words per second. It's literally insane. Yeah.
I'm really excited about this project. I finished it in the first week, but it's a video competition, so I know everybody's gonna take it seriously.
Yeah, see, look, in Ramiro's first interview is like, on the other hand, perceives him as a well-rounded student, who is orderly, responsible, and just has a steady discipline, Not to mention that he has that aura Like, dude, I'm not even kidding when I said that there would be girls who'd watch this show and just be fawning over Ramiro. Like, they wanted him so bad for real, and I don't even blame him. This shot is like take 6, because as we'll come to see in the blooper reel, this was a pretty cumbersome interview to shoot.
To be honest, I'm not supposed to even be in this class. I just came here to destroy it all.
Balladry's first interview is botched in every sense. The camera is tilted, the freaking tint is out of whack from the last 2 interviews. He improvised the hell out of his line. Now, I could say that that's all intentional because his character is a chaotic spawn from another realm. But as a director, that would be a cardinal sin to just lie about my own creation. So I do like that I guess I could say that I do like how he looks at the camera at the at the last 4 frames of his interview. Like, just he looks really malicious, like he's about to hurt you.
I have a completed project turned in by Ramiro. Adrian, how's your project coming?
Oh, Mr. Cummings, I think it's actually going great. I'm making steady progress on it. It's gonna be my magnum opus this time, yeah.
Oh, okay. I look forward to it.
It's great. It's like, I remember that shooting that shot like it was. I just remember that like it was just yesterday. Like, Aldo was right behind Mr. Cummings, standing on a chair, and then Vincent was the boom operator and was standing right next to him, and they were pretty much the same height, pretty much. So yeah, that was like take 2, because I remember just I couldn't, because I love taking my lines, as we'll come to see. In quite literally every single one of my interactions, every single time I come up on screen, I love to just embellish my lines because I love to be extravagant. I am an exhibitionist. Like, I put myself out there for the sake of the show, and I love doing that.
No, it's not. It's really not. I have not touched Premiere Pro in God knows how long. It's gonna be crappy. I don't have a script.
Ballady, how's your project coming along?
Oh, goodness gracious! It is my role as the star and the director to inform you that. Yeah, I am self-indulgent, I guess. I like I said, I ran with my scenes. Like, I really exacerbated every single line I had to just suit my character better, because I'm just this yapping mess. Yapping mess is perfect to describe my character. Oh god, here we go.
Along.
Oh, good. Bagman just finished.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to see it. I'll come check in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Tony loved to improvise. He loved to improvise. Like, I could just, oh god. He loved to phone it in by doing his own thing, which works miracles for his character, and 90% of the time I could not hinder it because the shot worked too well. He knew what he was doing and it worked to a T, and I couldn't admonish him for it. His line there should have been, "I should finish mine today." But instead he introduces Bagman. Now Bagman might just be the bane of my existence, because during our production he tried to stick Bagman into every conceivable shot. During production, like when he was not needed, he created him out of pure whims and a paper bag he found in Mr. Cummings' supply closet, as well as some tape and latex gloves and just an off-brand Sharpie. He made him right then and there, and the rest is history, and he shows up for quite literally every single other episode. I admire his creativity. I admire his chutzpah, dude. Tony.
Olivia, how's your project coming?
Why is that whip so slow? Someone explain to me why that whip is so slow. That just shows how inexperienced we were, how novice we were into the sitcom filming. Like, we are in episode 9 or 10, our whips are just supersonic. Like, they get the job done. But with this one, it just didn't work. Yeah.
I spent all night finishing it. I just need help turning it in.
All right, Olivia, let me check in with a few people and then I'll help you.
That sounds real. Holy hell. So I'm all about ruining the magic here. She wasn't actually drinking anything. Those cans were empty as all hell, dude. And it was obviously SFX. You know, we just used the sound effect, and the sound is actually way too short. So what I had to do was I had to reverse it and forward it, reverse it and forward it. You know, and I also made it. I also panned the volume track so it would play more on the left track than on the right track. So because she's obviously on the left side of the screen, I love playing with that spatial. Like, I don't know how audio mixers do it. Like, they be working with like 8 channels, and then they have to dictate where it comes from spatially. So with the 2 tracks that I have, the left and right, the freaking I played with that as much as I can. So if something is really out of left field, then I just make it play on the left ear. But if it's more in the middle, like if it's a little smidge to the right, then I just make it, it's just the audio things. I love playing with it. I love immersing audio wise. And this shot took a couple of shots because not only did I have to make a face that looked really concerning enough, but I also had to we had to make sure that her arm wasn't covering me. And I think this is one of the great shots because I'm between Kayla and Viviana, and I was just working previously, and then I just heard the slurps, and I was like, I love the cinematography here. We just
don't think Olivia sleeps at this point. I could be texting her at 4:37 in the morning, and then she'll respond to me.
4:37 in the morning was not on the script. Let me just say
2 seconds, like that, and then even though she doesn't do any progress on her project, like that's weird. Also, I'm pretty sure, I'm like definitively sure that her blood is like 51% caffeine. So that cannot be healthy.
Oh my gosh. This is another example of just running with it. Like I've said this to people before, but the stammering, especially to Mr. Cummings, but the stammering and faltering of our lines, it gives it, I feel it gives it some sort of like authenticity. Because it's a reality TV show. Like, obviously, there's no script. There should be no script because it's a fake reality TV show. Everything should be just unprompted, unscripted. It's just happening, man, and it's just being recorded. But, and I also definitely at this point, I just wanted to flex my snapping skills, which have definitely gotten much better over the year. That is, it has been.
How much caffeine do I drink per day?
Oh, dear God.
And that's enough
just
for
the
one
clacks in the year is crazy. When editing this scene, the shot, like the unabridged shot, lasted like 30-40 seconds, dude. It was just rigorous can placing. She was just reaching down, placing the can, reaching down, placing the can. Nuh-uh. For pacing reasons, I thought, just why not jump cut to every can being placed? It's just for like this is obviously a jarring demonstration. She's saying that's enough for one day. That's like 10 energy drinks. So what if we just like 10 energy drinks, boom. I think it did its due diligence better than just making her place it one by one.
Valady, I don't know what's going on here. You might need to re-import the clips, I think.
Okay.
Mr. Cummings, can you help me export my project into Booth real quick, please?
Sure, booth 3's open. Let's do it in here.
See, look, I don't know how the screen like accurately depicted, what Mr. Cummings was talking about, which is the clips going haywire, but it worked in our favor. I always want detail on the frame to be accurate, whether that be like a fictional news article or a fictional YouTube comment. I don't want to fake it at any time. So if the clips are out of whack, then we will show Premiere Rush with clips out of whack. Well, obviously, if it hadn't been out of whack, then that would have never been presented if this was very serendipitous, because we were not trying to do all that because of time constraints. Snap. And also, freaking, that was Ria's only one line. The one line in the pilot, dude. Oh my gosh. She was a consummate MacGuffin, dude. Without her leading him into the booth, for him to just be oblivious to everything that's about to happen, we gotta thank Ria for that, because Ria set off inadvertently a chain of just unfortunate events, dude. And also me in the corner there overreacting, just burying my face in my laptop, bro. Chicken fat, dude. Chicken fat is my mentality 25/8, dude. Yeah, and realize how this is still one shot. You know, this shot is like, what, 25 seconds, dude? Like I love just driving the average shot length like through the roof. Like it is just. Oh god, I need a. Oh god. I can't burp, dude. Nowadays, like, attention spans need to be catered to every whim, because if there's not like a cut, like a scene change every icososecond, dude, they're gonna click off. But I'm staying grounded by my stylistic choice because this is something more slice of life, more mundane, and more natural, as chaotic as it is. You know, it's human, it's real life. This is something. This is like this is non-fiction fiction in a sense. And I think it's hilarious the way that Jaden just knocks over the cans. That beat is just the really nice touch to the scene. And just Ramiro just acting like perturbed by it. I guess he's just like indifferent. Like he's like, dude, dog, that was loud. But then he continues to be on his phone like nothing happened. It's yes, this is just this little unscripted things like that. Because that wasn't unscripted, dude. I think if I whip out this script right here, yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, Olivia stands up, taking her laptop and energy drinks. It doesn't say she knocks them over, but it was a really nice touch for her because she's just so clumsy and she's just so brain dead because of all of the caffeine that she feeds, and so those neurons is just perfect for her character, and it's amazing how that is embellished. This is where I started to take over the camera. This I remember specifically doing this shot right here. Simple whips is a simple life, dude. It is great, and I love how Tony just walks like that. It's just amazing, dude. Tony, he looks at the camera again. Tony, he does. And Mr. Cummings, he has this innate ability to just notice immediately when someone is looking at the lens, like when he reviews the footage. But I think he thinks that it ruins the immersion, but I think it is acceptable because these students are not only getting used to a documentary crew sticking their cameras up their every whim in action, but, you know, they have to acclimatize to that. And I think we notice that less and less as the series goes on. We definitely, like, because not only are we amateur, but there is definitely a learning curve. Like, we learn to not look at that lens as often as we did at the very beginning because, obviously, we haven't been filming habitually, so, you know, but Tony just does it more often because it's his character and it's very understandable.
Hey, can I see your project?
Oh, yeah, just let me look.
That is the most detained, sedated, calm, and collected you will ever see Ballady. He is just so composed. Never again, dude. If he's this calm, then you need to run, dude, because that is
Let me log in real quick.
Okay.
This is great.
You're like really bad at this.
Shut up.
Dude, it's like, oh my gosh, I love the use of insert shots. Like you can clearly notice that this is like the same angle that we had when he said, "Can I see your project?" But then we had the insert shot where we have over the shoulder of her trying to type her password. But, you know, realistically, this is something we need to address, you know. So as early as the pilot episode of this one, when our shots were just facile and elementary, dude, realistically, it would be impossible for a documentary crew getting like insert shots such as those without appearing on camera, you know? You like realistically, if we got an insert shot of her typing her password right now, we would be able to see a cameraman behind her right now, but we don't. In live time, but we don't. So I established one day that this is essentially a hybrid between a mockumentary and a normal sitcom. Getting shots that wouldn't practically be plausible with your average documentary crew, you know, this is a hybrid, dude. And you can also see the microphone in the reflection of the TV. You can definitely see the metal part of the microphone where you stick the the XLR cable on. And that little interaction at the end with you suck at this, that was not in the script, so that was Jaden's genuine reaction. The shut up was a perfect just rebuttal. It made the dynamic between those two just perfect.
To tell you guys, I really want to destroy this project. Why? I'm bored, you flippin' idiot.
And whoa, like, can we talk about the composition of that? Can we talk about the composition? Like, this is perfect interview. Like, the camera's level, like, perfect chair. Like, we have enough chair. There's enough negative space everywhere. He's taking a good chunk of the screen, and the tint is all right. Well, the tint is a little off, but that's like the hint of chaos that is brought onto by the character. And most of all, the "I'm bored, you flippin' idiot" is not on the script. So that's just one of Tony's innumerable improv nuggets that we love from his character ability.
Why? I'm bored, you flippin' idiot.
Sorry, my hands are really shaky right now.
Well, your blood is made out of caffeine.
You can tell that Tony did not know his line by heart. Like, that he just said the next best thing, which worked. Like I said, I cannot hinder his improvisation because it ends up working sometimes. That is the most expensive shot of the classroom because we had to digitally alter the footage to seamlessly blend in the other shot where the stunt double came in and performed the pratfall. VFX is no laughing matter. I am joking because this was all Jaden. Jaden managed to just knock this physical stunt out of the park in just 2 takes, dude. And it looks very realistic. Like, I can't, and as a director, I can't believe I made her fall more than once, which is just. But I'm glad that she was willing to go through these lengths just to collapse on camera. Like, I like the physicality of the jokes is something great, you know. I would get physical for the stunts and the jokes, and she did that as well, and I'm glad. That F-bomb was not scripted.
Thank you.
I like how all it takes for Balady is a light tap on the foot to find out whether she's alive or not. Just
Sleep.
Yeah.
Bagman, keep your eye on her. Time to go tell everybody.
see, and Bagman is crammed into the scene again. He was not in the script for that. Like I said, he doesn't appear in the script at all. He was made up out of nothingness. So the appearances and the role that he takes is just Balady just took the reins on that, I guess.
Guys, Olivia's dead.
What? Did you check for a pulse?
Why? Why would I check a dead body pulse?
And look, and now you can clearly see that this is another day because there's dates on the calendar, which breaks my heart, to be honest. These inconsistencies will be the death of me. Okay, no, can we talk about that shot? Because there's something about an empty, cluttered classroom, you know, with all the belongings, you know, there's just something that speaks volumes to me. And I think that this is one of the more interesting shots of the pilot. And one of my favorite, personally. It's just, I don't know, it's just, I really like just the overall view of the just the class, you know. You could get to see everything and it's empty. Like, why would a classroom be empty with everyone's belongings in there? It's because everyone is in a different room, you know, just dealing with this different situation. And yeah, look, you see that bubble that went up? That bubble was a paid actor, dude, because it symbolizes something. I like to think it symbolizes something. I could definitely bring a symbol to life in with everything, dude, in my show. Look, okay, one wouldn't know this without watching the director's commentary. I'm gonna be for real. They can't piece this together. But look, Olivia has imbibed just inconceivable amounts of caffeine, dude. She is drowning in the caffeine. She has drowned. She has fallen. She's unconscious, dude. And now her last breath was caused by the caffeine. Her last air bubble, gone, resides in caffeine. That makes sense, you know. I mean, do you see are you picking up what I'm putting down? Like, that is, big brain, dude.
I'm not touching a dead body.
You can see the red light of the camera in the other room. The camera is in the studio room, which is adjacent to this room, and we set it up on a really high tripod looking down on us. I just thought it would be really nice to provide a different angle, to provide my facial expression and Ramiro's facial expression while also providing perspective through the doorway. You can see Viviana is clearly not having it, and she does not like standing for prolonged periods of time. That is, yeah, that's tragic. Shots fired, but like, yeah, it's yeah. I don't ask for much, but you know.
How do you check?
I already told you once again, I'm not touching a dead body.
And we can also see the red light of freaking right here of this room, because you got to realize that you can also see the microphone if you look closely enough. But you know, Aldo and Vincent were crammed into a corner of the room, so that way that the other angle camera couldn't capture them. And yeah, that was a little cumbersome for their situation, but you know, we can't. They were doing their job as best as they could given the circumstances.
I think we should call the ambulance or the medic, cause she looks hella dead to me.
What if she's not dead?
I don't care. I'm taking all my chances right now.
That's a waste of resources.
I am not scared of it.
That's a waste of resources, dude.
Of anything really, except for cats and dogs. Almost every animal except for koalas.
I am actually scared of every animal. This is me projecting, basically, onto my show. I am awful with animals. Leave me with your house cat unsupervised for 2 minutes, and you will come back with me having a gazillion scratches, dude. At the time of me mentally preparing the monologue in my head, I couldn't think of the most friendliest animals, so I just said koalas because they look cuddly. But koalas are egregious maters, dude. They have chlamydia, dude. They be doing malicious things to other koalas.
Crackheads, ketchup that is.
No, okay, wait. Well, we're saying way too many things. I am definitely scared of crackheads. Just anyone that isn't sound of mind is just daunting, dude. Like, no, I don't have baggies of drugs in my pocket. I'm sorry that your life went awry. Please stay away, dude.
Crackheads, ketchup that isn't Heinz.
Ketchup that isn't Heinz. This is where it starts to obviously get absurd. Like, no, I'm not scared of off-brand ketchup. I love ketchup of every kind. I'm a ketchup enthusiast, dude. But yes, I do prefer the Heinz.
The commute in San Francisco because it gets really, really hectic.
Oh gosh,
must
be
be
a nightmare to drive there
on
on
the
the daily. I am petrified of driving. Truly, period. I am very capable of driving. I've driven like a decent distance, you know, like three times. You know, like I've probably driven like 10 miles total, but you know, the trust issues that I have on the road and of Californian drivers are just incorrigible, dude. They're inconsolable, bro. So to be driving somewhere as cluttered and hectic as San Francisco, hell no. But being driven there is a whole nother story, dude. It is such a nice place there, but it's hella expensive to live there. It's nice for visiting. It is a vibe. I had a nice caramel apple there. It was succulent.
I'm also scared of a variety of vegetables, including zucchini and rutabaga. Oh, but eggplant. Oh my gosh, eggplant is a menace to society. May it never, ever grace anyone's taste buds ever again.
Fun fact, I've never actually had zucchini or rutabaga. There must be a phobia that exists somewhere about freaking vegetables. But look, I have had eggplant once, and it was just about as abysmal as eggs were. And hence the name eggplant, you know? Yes, I do hate eggs. I think everyone knows that by now. And we will definitely be delving into that in a future episode.
But the one thing that I'm unequivocally sure that I never, ever want to confront ever is wasting people's time. I am also scared of inflation, taxes, the war, polar bears, nuclear Armageddon, the moth. So what do we do? Does anyone...
You know, the entire spiel about my phobias is very much altered to the one that Jaden wrote individually. But I did get the point across, which is, you know, my point was that I hate having to call people and will call, like, strangers. You know, I would love to call my friends up anytime. But, like, if I have to, like, I don't know, like, set up a dentist appointment or something. But if I had to, like, set up a dentist appointment or something, I would be mortified. I don't know. I mean, I'm not socially awkward. I do like to believe that I'm out there. I'm very extroverted. Like, I could definitely get along with anyone. But, dude, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a buffoon. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'll disappoint. I don't know. I'm projecting it, but the point is that getting the point across, even though I'm improving, like if you improv, you still have to get the point across of what we've written on the script, on the screenplay, which is what I aspire for everyone to do. Like they can bend and twist the lines at their own will, at their own volition, you know, for their character's sake. But as long as it makes sense, and as long as the message is conveyed, I'm totally fine with that. Which is what we need. I love improv. It gives it a fresh take. It gives it every single take. It gives it something fresh and something new and something just unmitigated and unadulterated from previous, you know, influences or just mistakes. It's just great, amazing. I endorse it wholeheartedly, dude.
Does anyone know CPR?
Who gets trained for this in high school?
Do you guys know how to do CPR?
Where did the teacher go?
I don't know, man. But look at her. She's like obviously rotting right now with all
the time that we're taking with this.
Who cares?
The who cares was improvised, dude. It's just the Tony charm. I don't know, but he definitely knows when to nail, or definitely knows when to be tongue-in-cheek and snarky. He just knows how to do that. Just like sometimes, for the most part, he can definitely know when to nail that mark. You know, but the best part about this scene right here is that Jesus Christ, dude. My life. Okay.
Adrian scold you. Adrian, I need you to scold this person.
Oh my God, it's the main man,
He
Vincent,
messed
dude.
up so bad.
Okay, well, back to the freaking commentary, dude. Yeah, that was a bit of a derail, but you know, perfect for the 1 year anniversary for this. Oh, that was just cataclysmic. Okay, where was I? What was I? Oh yeah, the who cares? You know he. Oh God. I'm acclimating. Oh yeah, I was mentioning how Jaden is actually still laying down there. You know, she's method acting essentially. It really helped with the morale of the scene in general, just to have her just body splayed on the ground. I think it really helped add the acting between the triangle here. That was great on her part.
I'm not dead. I just hadn't slept in 4 days. Well, I mean, I have now, but I hadn't slept in 4 days. My blood literally flows with caffeine. So much caffeine that my local 7-Eleven knows me by name. A bag of Doritos, headache medication, and pure stubbornness. Dude, they were gonna do CPR before even checking to see if I was breathing. Like,
I think if your local 7-Eleven knows you by name, I don't think that's any bragging right whatsoever. Also, that last part was definite. That was off script. That was the fact about they were gonna do CPR before checking to see if she was breathing. That was definitely, she made that realization like before ending up shooting this interview, and she just thought that was hilarious.
Just follow me.
Dude, this has to be the most uncomfortable tracking shot I have ever let perforate my filmography with, dude. Look at how unnatural Ramiro is walking. This is the first time I prompted Aldo, my camera operator, when I wasn't the camera operator, to walk backwards with the camera. I do believe that we had Dominic to quite literally guide him to point B, which was the corner of the room that you'll see at the end of this semi-long tracking shot. This was also like take 7, dude. You would not believe how many times Ramiro and Aldo would crack up because, like, dude, I mean, to be fair, I would break too if my home slice was just walking unnaturally and just tracking you with the camera. That would be, I don't know, but he just, Ramiro looks so locked in. He looks almost constipated. He's trying his hardest not to laugh.
Let's just wait for Mr. Cummings. As my dad always says, sweep it under the rug is probably fine.
See, that's planting the seed, dude. Planting, freaking Jaden was planting that seed of like of freaking Ramiro having a scumbag lawyer dad, and I just went with that. It was great. It was a great notion, and I think it fits him and his mentality all too well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And then audio just keeps bleeding in. It's great. It's wonderful.
Honestly.
So we're really gonna leave Olivia like that?
seamlessly
Do you have any better ideas?
stitches itself together.
If you say that again, you won't have a pulse.
If you say that again, you won't have a pulse. It's one of the coldest lines. I'm not gonna lie. And for scenes like this, you know, when the camera's moving extensively from like room to room, we can't really contract the boom operator to boom operate, you know, because that would be bad for the LXR cable to, you know, thwack against the cable, and that would make so much noise, and it would be like really distracting. So what we did was we grabbed a smaller XLR cable, like that was no bigger than 3 feet, and then we just connected the mic, and then we put it atop the camcorder, and then we taped it with gaffer tape. And so basically it was just the camera, and then you grab it, and then the microphone's on top here. So it's like any normal, like I do believe there are pieces to make your camcorder have your microphone attached from the top, but you know, we were doing it the ghetto way because we didn't have that for the Panasonic HC-X1. So, you know, happens to the best of us. This scene was like necessary, dude, because what I was hoping to achieve, like as we're focusing through these different characters, is just like we're letting this sort of like humorous dread just like linger, just like settle in. Like we obviously know that Olivia is not dead, but like nobody else knows that except for Ballady, which, you know, and that and Ballady's just chaotically letting it linger, and that's just grand. You know, this show cannot take a moment seriously because Ramiro is just watching this Indian man disco time. It's because we had to add some comic relief. You know, and asking Kayla to tap her foot, or one of the two girls to tap their foot, it was really awkward. I'm sorry, but we balled nonetheless. Like, I knew I was pestering the flip out of them when I was asking them to do anything. God damn it. Why were they so hard to work with, dude? Like, dog, we were not asking much for them. As a director and as the creator, I always strive to make the jobs easy for them as possible so they wouldn't stop whining about it. Like, it was my goal, dude. Dude, Zach needed to be in more episodes, man. He needed to have a vocal, spoken role, because, I don't know, dude was just great overall. I think he could have been a much more fleshed out character, but he wasn't. He didn't say anything this time. He just shook his head, I do believe, for this episode. Oh snap! I think this is one of the more definitive shots of the pilot. Like it's done by me, of course. You know, you're talking to the classroom DOP, ladies and gentlemen, baby. When I think of the pilot, I think of this shot. And if you don't think of this shot when we're speaking the pilot, then I have failed as a director of photography. I have failed Ramiro. This is great, dude.
How can the class just be playing on their phones and chatting with each other?
Okay, this is my biggest complaint, my biggest regret of this entire episode. This right here. Nobody is chatting with each other. I could have adjusted that line, dude, but I guess I didn't. The room was dead silent, bro.
There's a dead body in there. Like, what are we doing?
You think?
Like, bro, I love exploring morality, dude. Mortality. Like the sense of humor that can derive from the concept of death. It's just a little macabre, but it's like also funny, I guess. And dude, like we also have like this innate ability to disassociate from the concept of death, and that in itself is interesting and something to definitely be explored, especially in this scene where we're tackling a dead body.
You think we're gonna pass on next period's work because of this?
And look, and then my reaction pales in comparison with Ramiro's reaction on what he has to say, focusing on like anything else that relates to the dead body, like how he can exploit it to next period and skip it or whatnot. You know, we love that juxtaposition, dude.
I'm pretty sure Olivia.
Bro got a haircut mid-production. That is insane, dude. It is.
Is probably still alive. Like I did saw her drunk like a bunch of energy drinks. Like
That belongs on a t-shirt, bro.
Monster,
that
Pepsi,
thing belongs
maybe
on a
that
t-shirt.
random candy thing. I don't really know, but she's probably fine.
And indeed, she was probably fine because she continues to make her dangerous concoctions. She dropped the can too. Holy Christ. Look, wait. Keep it rolling. Dude, this moment right here really got a laugh out of my family who watched it for the very first time, like literally a month ago. The fact that her glasses were like in disarray on her face was not scripted, and it's everything to me. That definitely just amplifies that scene tenfold. It's just really good. She was fiending for that drink, dude. Like, she dropped that can, she poured it, concocted it, chugged it, snarfed it, dropped the can. It was bonkers, dude. And the mask is an integral part of her character, dude. It has concealed her face successfully throughout the entire run of the series. So for her to unveil herself, to stand up, it was, I don't know, but we didn't plan this. The camera was perfectly compositioned to not reveal her entire face at the very least. It was, that was just movie magic, serendipitously worked in our favor, dude.
Olivia passed out in the control room. Really? Is she okay?
No, she's dead.
Did you check for a pulse?
No, why would I do that?
Because that's important. Let's check.
Dude, this is like take 7. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the more harder shots to pull off in terms of the several whips and the delivery of the lines and the marks and and I'm pretty sure that it was just, I don't know, it was just, and Mr. Cummings was just giving it that hustle every time, like he was running, he was booking it, like he was delivering that performance every time, and it was incredulous.
Bagman, stop making deals.
And of course, Tony had to throw in Bagman for this very intense climactic scene because it wouldn't be Tony, it wouldn't be Ballady without not taking itself seriously. And that hood guy, the taper representing eyes, dude, like that is supposed to be another character, but for the life of me, I cannot remember its name. Irrelevant.
Olivia, are you alright?
This is genius right here.
Room? I didn't go into no room.
He did not go into no room, you guys. So, with Ramiro walking into the wrong room, that was an insert shot. That was not planned whatsoever. It just had to happen. It happened after this next shot that we're about to see. But look, there's so much to say about him walking into that room. So, in the preceding shot, you see that Ramiro is the first one to follow behind Mr. Cummings. And, the shot establishes that he enters the wrong room, and for the reason he's acting nonchalant here, and he's saying that he didn't go in the room, and it's just all a figment of your imagination, dude. Like, you're tripping, bud. And the reason for that being is because in the next shot we're about to see, I'll play it right now.
Olivia, are you all right?
Huh? Yeah, I was just really tired.
Oh, I was so worried about you. I'm going to send you to the nurse's office.
Ramiro is nowhere to be seen on that doorway. Logistically, he would have been one of the very first to huddle up near the doorway. But I don't know why he wasn't used for this scene, apparently. So we had to explain. We used Ramiro as a throwaway gag to explain as to why he's not in the doorway. I just didn't want any more inconsistencies. So I feel like that was the funniest way to go about it. Man. Also, the interviewer that speaks, and we have the text on screen, that just so happens to be the same crewmate every time. That's the same crewman who always is the interviewer. It's a constant. But that interviewer is voiced by
me. I'm doing the voice right now. It's a very simple pitch shifter effect, and it makes me sound a lot more deeper than I am. But it's not like I was trying to impersonate a voice. I was like trying, like, how document crews usually like blur the voice or like make the voice a lot more distorted or dark or deeper, just to conceal the identity. That's where I inspired myself off of.
I mean, if you're sure.
Sure. Adrian, I'm going to write her a pass to the nurse.
Look, my face is just flabbergasted. Like, bro, okay, hold up. I actually have to address, this shot right here, because this shot has a lot of logistic and technical aspects to it.
Olivia, are you all right?
But first, look, Mr. Cummings inflected that line twice perfectly. Like, it really sounded like there was 2 cameras in 2 different rooms, and that is exactly the vibe that I want to go for this episode. Because you've got, I want to make it feel like there's a camera person in every single room, ready to film every single action and every single event that unfolds, just ready. And so it's all happening live. So obviously, it's got to sound concurrent, it's got to sound concomitantly, and it's just got to all be down to a T, and that was the best he could do, and it was perfect. It was impeccable. And look, I had directions for Aldo. I told them, like, the camera starts on the ground, then he picks it up, loops around them twice, and then we have Mr. Cummings and Olivia right here, and the camera is in betwixt. But you know, there was a kind of, and like, there was this partition that will end up facing me eventually, which will eventually be the focus of that scene, because Mr. Cummings addresses me to take her to the nurse's office. Friggin', there was a bit of complications with this shot in the sense that, like, Olivia or Jaden was staggering, where, like, she was a little uneasy, you know. She was just getting up after that very nice nap, and we had to, like, Mr. Cummings had to kneel not perfectly, but he had to kneel close enough, and then Olivia had to be also close enough for Mr. Cummings and Jaden to basically make a frame, you know. That'll, yeah.
I was just really tired.
Oh, I was so worried about you.
Like, it's crazy how it starts. Like,
Olivia, are you all right?
like, I do believe that the chair that we see right here is the chair that he was actually sitting on. At one, like, he was sitting on it, and then eventually he
Olivia,
gets out of the
are you
chair,
all right?
Huh?
and then
Yeah, I was just.
and then he
really
just
tired.
loops
Oh,
around.
I was so worried about you. I'm gonna send you to the
Bang
nurse's
him.
office,
And
okay?
I think he places it on the counter. He does.
Sure. Adrian, I'm gonna write her a pass to the nurse. Can you escort her?
See, look how disappointed Tony looks. Like, and, well, I mean, I believe he's acting here, but like, he's definitely, even when he's not saying anything, even when he's appearing in the background, he's nailing his role. And that, like I said, I appreciate that he's doing that. And look, Bagman is holding yarn over there in the background, dude. Like, I mean, ugh.
Adrian.
And also, look
I'm
at
gonna
that facial expression that I'm doing, bro. I was just utterly flabbergasted, dude. Kubrick stare? Nah. Adrian Gop, dude. Like, I look like a buffoon there. I look definitely bamboozled and befuddled and just, wow.
Write her a pass to the nurse. Can you escort her there, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
I mean, like, I'm not complaining about a free day. Plus, I already got my project done, so there's that.
And through all this chaos, I still have to do my project. I
Could you tell that these 2 interviews were shot back to back because there was no change in the camera level or the tilt or whatever, or the tint? It perfect.
just
It was
can't.
That's
come
how
up
it
with an
should be every time. Like, there was no way we could keep the camera in the exact space every time. Like, we would have to take out, like, there was no way, because we would have to disassemble the tripod and re-put it back every time we were doing interviews, and we could never set it up the exact same way ever again. So every interview that is not shot successively is just always a little bit different.
Than ideas. I really need to gain some inspiration quickly. I have to make it quick. I have to make it funny at least, so I can get a really good grade. So hopefully something crashes into my brain.
I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I duly believe that this is my worst performance in the classroom's history, because I truly botched the hell out of this interview trying to spice it up with my own flair. And like I said, my philosophy is just get the message across. You can bend it to your will, but just get the message across. And I did do that, but it was very half-assed, dude. Man.
Wait, you
And
don't
then
even
the
have a
audio
script yet?
bleeds. Beautiful.
Well, I was starting one, but
Beautiful, bro. And
I
then another
procrastinated a little.
backwards
Could you help
tracking
me on my
shot.
project?
I mean, if you write the script and do the shots, I can edit it.
Friggin' look, that over there, that's Ramiro and Brennan, bro. They felt the need to show up as extras. And I allowed it. I was just hoping that
Yours
nobody
are
would
really
notice.
boring.
And as
No,
far
what do you
as
mean mine's are really
my knowledge
boring? Yours
goes,
are
I don't think anyone
Bonkers
noticed.
and over the top. Mine is like minimalistic,
Which is
professional.
Good, but now I've revealed it to the
Minimalistic,
whole
okay,
world that
yeah.
that's Brennan and Ramiro. So the magic is
Sure, yeah.
Okay, how about this? We edit our own, and then we'll have Mr. Cummings decide which one's better.
Okay, yeah, but I'll win.
Oh, I doubt that.
Oh, see you, cope.
So I don't think it takes much to realize that that shot is shaky as all hell. And I will take some blame for this shot. I'm not gonna lie. We did not use the camcorder get up, with the adhere the microphone onto the top of the camera. We genuinely had Vincent trying his best not to whack the cable against the boom pole, because we were just we wanted to be inclusive. We wanted to use Vincent as much as possible. We wanted to get everyone involved the best way possible, in the most way possible, the most prevalent way possible. Blah, 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 blah. I am losing it slowly. I have been talking for so long. This shot took like 5 takes because the dialogue overall was very cumbersome to enact while walking at a steady pace. And we wanted to make sure we weren't overstepping or like get out of frame or anything, or like we would like I wasn't trying to bump into Aldo, period. So for this shot, Mr. Cummings recommended a dolly, and at the time I didn't know what a dolly was. I didn't even know he had a dolly. Oh well, he obviously did if he mentioned we should use one, but I didn't know what one was. And now that I know what one was, I can assure you that this would have definitely not worked within the shot, because this thing had to go around senior circle or senior square. We call it square, right? Even though it's a circle, but it would not have worked. Like, we struggled to use a dolly in a straight line, as we'll see in future episodes. So yeah, we strike through that. And then he recommended something called a warp stabilizer, and I didn't know what a warp stabilizer was either. And I could deduce what it probably did, but I didn't think it would work miracles. It worked miracles, my brother in Christ. It is too good to be true. It really is too good to be true. It could have improved the scene so much. I was ignorant. I admit to my mistakes, okay? I am an awful director. Please crucify me. Never trust me with a blockbuster budget, much less a shoestring one, dude. Big kudos to Aldo, though, because he has a steady hand, dude. I entrust him with operating that camera. It was amazing. He understood my vision. Every time I described him a shot, ever so briefly, he would garner it with ease, and quite literally the only issue within shooting it would have been us screwing up a dialogue, which is, he was great. He was a great cameraman all around, but sometimes he would need a bit of motivation to get out of his chair. Dudism. Yeah. Olivia's gonna get clapped! This is where things deviated for the better. That is an iconic line, but it was not scripted. A lot of the iconic lines are not scripted, dude. It replaced an entire paragraph of an interview. I thought that just suited it so much better. I thought it encapsulated everything it had to say in one brief zinger, I guess. Dude. But let's watch this for a second. Just Ballady, just walking around. There's the hood guy and the bad bag. There's Mr. Cummings, oblivious as always. Okay, this looks pretty big right now. But look, this was not in the script. What we're seeing right now, what he's doing right now, it is broken the script. Okay, we have broken from the script on the screenplay. Right? It says, back to class, scene 8. Ballady walks over to Adrian's computer, tapping the spacebar so that the screen turns back on. We should get a shot of the script before Ballady highlights all of it in his to delete button. He's basically deleting whatever little progress I had of my project. But that's not what's occurring here. Obviously, he is taking my laptop somewhere. So we had a writer's discussion. Me, Jen, and probably Mr. Cummings. We were like, I felt that the ending was too simple, clearly. That was it. That would have been it. Just, and then roll credits, Ballady at it again with his evil antics. That was too basic, too facile, too not chaotic enough. So I knew from the start that the way that we could only garner comedy in the sitcom was by over the top scenarios. You know, dialogue was never gonna be shrewd for the majority or witty because of, you know, the people delivering it. I know, shots fired, I know, but that's not the point here. The point is that what happens next right here is the reason why the pilot was such a success and paved the way for the remaining 9 episodes. Woof. Woof. First thing I could think of, destruction. People love destruction. People gather around it like if it's a spectacle. People slow down in traffic just to see a burning car. It is spellbinding. So I thought it would be the most grandeur thing if we could break something of value, it seemed. If Ballet wanted my project deleted, he would have done it the most extravagant way possible, not by Control-Zing the entire thing. So in the preceding shot, Ballet actually grabs the unactual laptop, right? But then on the shot outside, we swapped it with Mr. Cummings' saving grace. Now, Mr. Cummings' wife, Trisha, who I've had the pleasure to meet, like, she's a big fan. It is flattering, truly. Like, wow. And she had a laptop that was just derelict due to old age, you know. So I think that laptop had like an Intel Core like i3, I guess, and it's like Windows 7. Like, it's really old. And they looked uncannily similar, dude. So I mean, if you look closely at the way that the laptop, you can see that there's no label on it. But I think we could have definitely added it, you know. It's movie magic, truly. You know, the way that one shot we're holding the real computer, and the next we're holding a fake computer, a faux computer, you know. But, and also, can we talk about the transition of this? How the way that he's charging up, and the way that the door is swung, and they're both seamlessly like I said, there's a cameraman person in every room ready to record what is about to happen, and it's just all happening in live time. Like, that is the vibe I want to go for here. And this is a seamless, impeccable transition. In this entire destruction thing, favorite scene of the episode. Just director approved, director certified. Dude, bro. You might think that the props department, like, was demanded a shovel. Like, we were demanding a shovel. But in reality, you know, in the preceding shot, you can clearly see a shovel just serendipitously, like, propped up right next to the container, waiting to be used. So this whole scene was unpremeditated. But the shovel was even more unpremeditated, which is bonkers. Just wow. Damn. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, look, we must have spent like at least like what, 4 minutes outside? Like, that's how long it took to film this destruction sequence. Like, 4 minutes, dude. We could have like completely wrecked this thing, but you know, time constraints. Time constraints is a son of a gun for this series, because we have an hour to film on the daily. That is not enough whatsoever, but we got it done. And I just love how the keys are just flying out. Like, that's a great addition that, like, you know, that can't be done. You know, that, like, you know, we can't like make it happen just naturally. So just the bonks of the shovel were just so powerful to the point where the keys would fly, and that's just a really great addition to the destruction, the mayhem that's going on. Like, dog, we winged the hell out of this scene, and it works flawlessly. And I think that is what the classroom's charm is. Like, the fact that even an impromptu scene can blend so well with the premise of this show. That's just how I want the series to be experienced. I wanted to feel like it's like something very that could definitely happen in real life, but it's also like absurd and insane, and like, wow, how is this happening in a high school? You know what I mean? And dude, this last part is just grand right here. The way he just tosses it sounds so loud. Like, it's just so cacophonic, dude. Like, it just even the kick was louder, dude. I love the kick so much, dude. I instructed him to fling it across the container, but I didn't instruct him to kick it, which is just right in the kisser. It was gorgeous. Like, you know, like I said, oh my gosh, Ballady, or Tony rather, sometimes he just hit the marks that I didn't know I needed. And that compensated for all that literally made up for every single thing he was doing with Bagman, honestly. Grand stuff. And look, this is what I mean also. Like this is what I mean by hybrid. Like realistically, Mr. Cummings would be slightly alarmed here that there's such a close, like a camera person is this close, this intimate to this guy, filming whatever may be, happening over there, and yeah, we just exacerbated his obliviousness. But yeah, you would like realistically, Mr. Cummings would try to scope out what the camera person is actually filming, so he would see what this dastardly guy was up to. But no. And he's like that just got a kick out of my entire family, dude. Just Ballady placing it back like nothing happened, and everyone, nobody else noticing, like not even the teacher, is just fantastic. And it's so, I feel like it's so like Kafka-esque for like nobody to notice this heinous act, this crime against humanity, or against my humanity rather. I think that's just really like just funny, dude. It's just like the situation just uproarious, dog. And yeah, like I hope every viewer just like, I'm now like spoon feeding like the freaking themes to the audience. Like I hope like you realize now how like the juxtaposition and like the Kafka-esqueness and like just like how it all blends in together, and how this just makes this episode so whole. And yeah, this is not something you see every day in a Real in the Nights network production, dude. And also in this shot right here, I am not wearing the same shirt that I did when I left the room to go take Olivia to the freaking nurse. No. The funniest thing ever too is that I was so downtrodden by this freaking inconsistency that could have been entirely avoided if I just freaking like realized I've been doing it all month. Wearing the same exact shirt. How did I not notice it? I was like, I'm about to break free. This is the last shot. I'm not gonna have to wear this attire ever again. No. I mess it up, dude. I had to address it, dude. I was so downtrodden by the fact that this inconsistency existed that I had to explain it in a much later future episode. Like I just felt it deemed necessary to be explained. And yeah, this pilot does have a lot of impact later on. Like I do, like this is like a turning point. Like I mean, to a diehard classroom fan, you'd understand that before I walk in, I have this like introspective look within myself. Like, why am I lacking? Why, this project is, the class, TV media is life, but I don't want to I want to explain that for when we get to that episode. But, like I said, like, this is, like, important.
What the?
It's just like, that final shot was much harder. Shooting it was so much harder than anyone may ever think ever, because I got so many criticisms talking about how my face is just not the face that one would face when facing your destroyed laptop. I just didn't know how I would go about it, or how my altered version of myself would go about it. I wanted to include like a sense of bafflement while also like some inquisition sprinkled around, all wrapped up into like an amalgamation of just what? And then, yeah, exactly. That would make me blur. What the we cut, hard cut from that. Right into the credits. That was an amazing ending. So that last entire minute of this episode was completely improvised the day of, and I dare say that it was the best possible ending for this episode. It's iconic as all hell, and there was no way. Once again, I would like to thank the Cummings, Trisha, and Jason for just letting us destroy a laptop. That got so much attention, and that is quite literally why this episode is so notorious with everyone at that school, because we destroyed a freaking laptop, dude. That is never seen before, bro. That we're taking huge leaps that nobody even conceived up in that class, dude. and the credits just roll abruptly, dude. It's like the greatest thing ever. Who doesn't love a perfectly cut so abruptly, dude? And like, oh man. Now the song that I used for the credits, like, believe it or not, the song used for the credits, believe it or not, was actually not composed by me. I know. I'm your whole world is shattered before your very eyes. But it's a very interesting story as to how I ran into this outro. So, like I mentioned earlier, I took a year of piano, but of course I'm not the most disciplined piano player you've ever met in your life. So I did tend to goof off. Sorry, Mr. Murray, if you end up watching this. My piano was a Kawaii CN39, and funnily enough, it's actually $3,900 on their website. It was glorious, but God knows I love me some expensive ass equipment. It played like butter, dude. Like I plan to buy one in the future, dude. Like that piano, I love pianos. Pianos are great, but what was really captivating about that piano was the endless amounts of instruments that you could play on the keyboard. Like you could play like a harmonica. You could play like on the keys. Like it was like it would change the sound. There were so many sounds, dude. And there were so many that freaking Kawaii took some demos, to demonstrate all the different sorts of instruments that could be played on this keyboard. And when I was going through said demos, because I had so much time to kill in that piano class, I guess, I found this absolute banger, dude. This freaking outro that to this day, I don't know who composed it. Don't know who was in the studio, dude. But whoever made this masterpiece, I need to shake their hand firmly. And maybe even pay royalties for this song, because it truly deserves it, because it's so classroom coded. It's so fun and lighthearted. It's like the perfect song. Perfect outro song for the classroom, I do believe firmly. It was everything I wanted the intro to be, but I suck at music theory. So this is the most mellifluous thing you'll ever hear from this show, because I didn't compose it. Oh god. Now, I didn't know how to format my credits. I'm gonna keep it $1,000. I've never done credits before, but I've seen so many credits, so I just inspired like all the different formats from them. Now, the only one that just truly adheres to my mind, like at the very moment, like when I think of my credits, I think of Monsters Inc., where there's like the credits and the blooper reel side by side. I knew I wanted a blooper reel from the start. Like, series and films nowadays just take themselves way too seriously, that they're not even unconventional enough to just stick a blooper reel at the end of every film. The continued tradition, dude. A blooper reel is everything nowadays. Like blooper reels might just be one of the very reasons why I wanted to become an actor in the first place, because it just provided like a peek behind the curtain into such an engaging environment where the art was nurtured, and yet you could have a lighthearted time doing it. It's a blooper reel is incredible. It wouldn't be the classroom without a blooper reel. I think the blooper reel constitutes a major part of the classroom. And so yeah, the outro starts with dun 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 dun. That allowed me to do three things: title card, episode title, and created by Adrian Lazarga. That was perfect. And the I thought it would be great if the just created by just shrunk into nothingness. It's just going away.
Wait, what was my line?
Hey, let me read it one more time.
So look, something that I hadn't mentioned until now, I guess, was that we used we used Vincent, I guess, or Zach, to boom operate each of one of our interviews. It would have been much easier to rig a microphone. It would have been very much easier for that, and we wouldn't have any LXR. I cannot pronounce that. XLR cable just thwacking around the boom pole. That became an issue with the audio, and many takes were ruined because of it. And you can clearly hear it at the end of that blooper with Ramiro.
I'm just clipping the Pepsi right now.
Clipping the Pepsi.
Oh, because he's
Because he's talking. The blooper. This blooper only
talking.
exists
He's speaking in a whole different language.
because freaking I knew that we were gonna have a blooper reel earlier on, so I was like, I'm just gonna be funny on camera and put it at the end. I don't know. I knew, like, by then I knew we had like a cumulative like silly mistakes on film. We had like several, and like I was like, damn, like this is really about to be like a blooper reel, dude. And you know, I think the person asking who the like why are we clipping the Pepsi, I think that was Vincent. Like, I don't know, he was definitely very confused.
Action.
I'm really excited about this project. I finished it in the.
Why'd you laugh? Like I said, like the filming that interview was a struggle for Ramiro because Brendan was just simply being a distraction, but did provide with like
Really excited about this project.
an
I finished
insight
it in
into our many mishaps during filming. See, you can see that Jaden's just placing the cans here one by one. It's like an austere experience that I definitely didn't want anyone to sit through. So, I mean, look, I guess like, but this could have definitely worked if it was filmed a better way. Like, you know, like with Jaden, like placing can after can after can, and this concern that you have for her slowly starts to swell up. You're like, damn, how many is she gonna place down? But no, it was just that pacing would have been killed. So we just did the next best thing, and I think it would have been more. It was more jarring for just all the cans being placed. That was my uncanny impression of that. Okay. I really don't know why that jiggling can made her laugh so hard, but her laugh is contagious as hell. Just a little thing throwing her off like that, it's very fun and majestic to see because she doesn't actually break character that often or like start bursting out of that. Like she may mess up a line and just go on a cursing fit, but to see her laugh like that was just, yeah. Also, since, you know, well, as you can see right here, since this is a really small crew and there were very limited departments, I was struggling to fill in the gap with some credits. You know, I gave credits exactly 5 seconds, like each equally, you know, 5 seconds on the dot, with a fade in that lasted 1 second and a fade out that lasted 1 second, so it would linger for about 3 seconds. So naturally and habitually, I just wanted to be funny and tongue-in-cheek, so I just threw a famous person in there for a gag, which is Jackie Chan, a stunt coordinator. Yes, I had Jackie Chan teach Jaden how to pratfall. I'm a comedy genius, dude.
Action.
Yo, why did you? Why would you do that? Why would he do that? I don't know why Brennan would do that. That mentally damaged Rubiro. Oh my gosh.
I'm not touching a dead body. You check. Eric, once again, I'm not touching a dead body.
Don't know why the audio is so crap. I really don't. I don't actually know why the audio just got so abysmal for no reason at all. I had to amplify the hell out of it so we could even hear this blooper, but it didn't happen again after this take for some odd reason. It's one of the great unsolved classroom mysteries.
I think you should call the police, not the police.
The police, dude, the police. I don't know why the police crossed my mind, but it did. I will never figure that out. Another one of the greatest classroom mysteries.
You?
Dude, like, it destroyed me on this take because it was just really funny how I mixed up police and ambulance, like, freaking. And I said it so matter of fact that I was like, I think we should call the police. Like, I was trying to be so serious, but then I said police. God damn it, dude. And then Ramiro calls me a monkey.
Action.
So if you think that we oh snap, you can see the microphone, the shadow of the microphone. That's a little protruding. No, that was take 2 that we saw on the episode. This is take 1. The computer flopped majestically. It landed to perfection, and we had to reshoot that shot again. Yeah, that computer was just not gonna give in that easily. Apparently, it did not want to die, even though it was its time to die. Sure, we could have wasted it. We could have definitely disposed of it the proper way, but you know, we were making a show here, and you know, in a shoestring budget, so we did what we could.
But I'm also scared of inflation, taxes, the mafia, nuclear Armageddon.
Why are you guys laughing? Oh, that 9 seconds you just experienced, dude. Freaking Brennan and Ramiro were laughing in my peripheries. Like, I was like trying, and me being the actor that I am, I was trying to lock the hell in. I don't know what they were laughing at, but goodness, dude. And to no avail, I failed and cracked. I was like, why do you guys laugh? Goodness. I really do think that albeit having, you know, just a multitude of people in the studio room while you're trying to execute a freaking interview, that could definitely bring unforeseen complications. I do think it stirred up a bunch more bloopers, you know, and we really needed those bloopers. This is what was needed in this series. I was dead set on making that blooper reel, and I love the blooper reels. Sometimes I just go back and revisit these episodes and just watch the blooper reels. They bring life to me. It's just something so, like, down, like, grounded, even more grounded than the documentary we're making.
How about this? What if we edit our own, and then we'll see which ones. We'll see who. Okay, cut.
Yeah. No. I like how Jaden just tries to weave her line in, as I'm absolutely botching my freaking improvisation. Like, I've never stammered so much in a take. I think that's the worst that's ever gotten. Yeah. And right here, like, look, like, he's coming out with some, like, freaking, I don't know, freaking contraption. Like, because we had to have a test run on how Tony would come out of this room and chuck this thing, dude. So in the back of this area of our room, L4, we had this just alley with just neglected items that the staff would bring, I guess. Like, I don't know, chairs and desks that weren't working, and just overall just trash. And we just picked that out of a neglected corner, and then we just, he shattered that, bro. That broke just so simply, and that brought the morale up tenfold. Like, we were really excited to see this computer be disintegrated. I didn't mention this, but a good fraction of the classroom came out to see the eradication of my freaking computer, dude. It was, that was communal.
Dogs, cats, almost every animal really, except for koalas.
Look, I didn't notice this until, like, later on in another take, but my shirt was unbuttoned, dude. That shot would have been for nothing. I would have not used that shot. Me unbuttoned, dude. I couldn't even execute my freaking wardrobe correctly, dude. Like, I gotta give kudos to the top build characters of this show, because they were asked of to bring a consistent wardrobe for the production on a daily basis. I'm not even kidding. Like, I wore the same pair of jeans for an entire month. I don't know if I just repelled every single one of our audience, but what can I say? I am a method actor, dude. We shot throughout September. It took us, I think, like, approximately 16 school days to film this episode, which is more shooting days than the finale, which is almost 10 times longer. Because that just, you know, I remember Mr. Cummings addressing the producing of this series as a learning curve, that we would exponentially, you know, become more efficient to the specifications of, you know, how to film the classroom.
Koalas, crackheads.
You know, I usually never do that in you know, something as serious as this, something more formal, professional almost. I mean, as professional as this is.
Every animal really,
but I had to,
koalas.
you know, to emphasize that voice crack. I did not. I sphericized myself. I sphericized myself.
Crackheads.
But that voice crack was deadly, bro. And you can hear.
Did you not hear that
the cable
voice crack?
thwacking so badly here, dude.
Crackheads.
It's exactly. That is exactly what needed to be avoided in the production at all costs. One of our many heels of Achilles, dude. Achilles heel, dude. That was just one of many.
Did you not hear that voice crack? Mark?
Interview 2, take 4.
I don't know who Mark is, but yeah, I didn't mention this. Interview 2, take 4. I didn't mention this because Shia was phenomenal at clapperboarding, you know. I subconsciously, you know, dismissed her freaking credit. My bad. But, you know, she was a great clapperboard fondler. I knew from the start that she definitely didn't want to act. She was incredibly soft-spoken, and I couldn't possibly fathom her acting. I couldn't force her to. She wouldn't provide. I'm just saying that flat out. Like, she would have been too quiet, and that's okay because we used her for production, the facets of the production, I guess, like clapperboarding, and she was great. For all the times that she used the clapperboard. But as the series went on, we used the clapperboard less and less because we were, in such a rush to cram everything and get all the shots over and done with because we were like falling behind on schedule and we had deadlines to meet and marking was just a hurdle that we could easily omit off the process of filming the classroom. So that's what we did. Mr. Cummings, when we did that though, Mr. Cummings was slightly perturbed. I was like, how are you gonna know which shot is which? But I had a process for that. Like I knew how to keep my shot list intact, dude.
I can't. Hey, he needs to come back. He's staring at me right now.
got it, guys.
Yeah.
And once again, Brennan just messes with him, dude. It's like, yeah. But I do think that this was the greatest note to end off this episode, the greatest blooper to end it off with. It's just like a calamity, dude. While everyone is laughing, like this is just exactly what the class is. This TV and media class, this TV and production class, this TV and video production class. It's just, dramatized or not, this is exactly what it is. There's no sugarcoating it. I've experienced this class for tragically a small fraction of my high school legacy, and I can attest that although I may have exacerbated a lot of facets about it in this show to dramatize it and make it much more bigger and cinematic and dramatic and bonkers and absurd, but at the end of the day, at the end of the episode, the bloopers shed light into the production of a production. You know what I mean? I didn't conceive of the mantra of TV media is life until way later, but this is the embodiment of it. TV and media is life. We were having hella fun, dude, and that is what this blooper just shows, demonstrates, conveys, portrays. It's just the microphone falling off the boom pole. It's just into the camera, and we're just all in disarray, just giggling like little schoolgirls. It brings back fond memories. It does. And I just could not be more grateful for having shared this experience with them. And it's just the pilot, dude. Dude, I'll keep all my summarized thoughts about the episode as a whole at the very end, but whew. I don't know if people noticed this, but at the end of every episode, I added a fake copyright thing at the bottom. Yeah, Jumbo. The classroom and copyright Jumbo, all rights reserved. Now, nobody knows this, but Jumbo is my production company, my unofficial production company. If I were to ever name a production company, it would be named Jumbo. And now that I've said that, someone's going to coin it. And it will be tragic. I got it, guys. We were so dysfunctional. And then another iconic Adrian Lazariga hallmark. Nothingness before it just concludes, just lingering it in there. Woo. The classroom, the pilot. It's been a whole year since that dropped, and ever since that dropped, like I remember the day where it dropped, and I was like, Mr. Cummings, you should totally like email the entire everyone in this school for them to watch this. I feel like we should really promote. Like I promoted it on the school newspaper where I was editor-in-chief. I was posting it on my Instagram. I was doing every possible thing to get the word out that we were about to do something big in this TV and media class. Because last year, I was just starting off. Like, I had never worked communally. Like, I've never had a crew to direct. And at first, I was apprehensive about the idea. Like, when I first assigned a project with Mr. Cummings, I was like, can I work alone? Like, I am a solo wolf dog person thingy, and that's just my style. But he was like, no, you work with other people. And I was like, like I said, apprehensive. And then, shout out to Kobe and Aiden and Fatima. They are my triumvirate that really provided, dude, in my beginner year of TV and video production. They allowed me to learn what it's like to work with people and just have a vision just harnessed by this group of people. And it's just such a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to come together and just make something happen in the form of video production. And dude, And once once I came back to TV New Year the next year and my final senior year, I was like, dude, I have to make something big here. Like, I can't just be making short films all year. I need to make something large here that go down in Relinda high school history. The pilot came out. Oh, dude, it was like, and it has the most views. Like I said, this everyone in that school has witnessed it. I mean, I couldn't really name you a student who hasn't watched the pilot, because teachers will be playing it during lunch. Teachers will be playing it in any like prep period, freaking like they'll be playing it in their own periods in general when it gets sent out and when it releases. Like, we have built this notoriety with every single person in that school, and just my vision has been splayed out throughout, contaminated every single freaking nook and cranny of that campus. And yeah, like I said, all I wanted to do was spread my vision, I love filmmaking, I love creation, I love just making stuff that people will watch and hopefully will be inspired by. The afflatus will hopefully shine upon them, and they'll take their reins and just make something. Because just at the end of the day, when all is said and done, to all intents and purposes, I just sit back and I revel in what I've made. It's just, oh God, I'm gonna get teary-eyed. Like, oh God, a year. It's been a whole year, dude. It's marvelous, truly. I want to thank each and every one of you for just experiencing the classroom, whether it's been 1 episode or all 10 episodes. It's just thank you for just taking the time out of your day, just experience the absurd inner workings of a freaking crazy head like me. Like, thank you, just utterly thank you. And yeah, Bagman director commentary will be coming out on Halloween, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know how long this commentary is, but I do know that I just yapped for a very long time on our shortest classroom episode. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this far in. I have so much to thank you guys for, but just thank you. Thank you to Relinda High School. You know, I represent Relinda. Thank you, just thank you. You've made this all possible. You've welcomed me with open arms, and I continue to create for you. And without that, I don't think I would be this fervent to chase what I soon will be chasing, which is filmmaking and acting and just being aspiring Hollywood actor.